welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls. Today we are covering Boruto Chapter 57, where there is a lot of information being introduced regarding the next enemy. Looking at the cover page, I immediately know what most of you want to say. Extra. But you need to control yourself, young shonen. Simping for this new female character will bring forth your deadly demise. Do not betray your waifu so easily. No! Impossible! Imagine Naruto falling for Eida's powers in front of Hinata and fell in love with her. You know what happens, right? She's gonna bust out that Byakugan thing, bring out the 128 Trigun palm on Naruto's pee-pee, and beat his ass so he wished he died in the 4th war, fam.
まさかデートじゃないだろうな。手出したらぶっ殺す。落ち着けて。おい、なんでお前がこいつをかばう？
So remember, simping is only good when it's not toxic. Appreciate the things you have and cherish them, because Naruto sure as heck realizes how hard being Hokage is with the revelations of Boruto Chapter 57 and how his own family is the most precious thing to him, but he might lose it all due to these enemies. No! Boruto Chapter 57 begins with the reveal of one of the secret cyborgs that Boro had stored away behind Isshiki's back, realizing that Boro had disobeyed his master by preserving her. The chapter immediately fixes a question we had from last month. Why didn't Code report Boro's disobedience to Jigen if Code had worshipped him? Oh, I didn't do it again. Jigen! You guys love it when I do that. Jigen. Alright, calm down guys, I said it. He said it! Code explains that he hadn't reported it to Jigen because he wasn't even sure any of this had actually happened. He sees the irony in coming to find her, as she was originally supposed to be dead by Isshiki's order, and now she's essential in carrying out Isshiki's will and being recruited by Isshiki's most loyal follower. Code explains that if Boro were to incur Jigen's wrath, he would have been the one to have to dispose of him, and he didn't have the heart to take down a buddy of his. Now, we found this strange in the writing because Code came across like a ruthless individual that didn't care about anyone else except Isshiki Otsutsuki, especially in the anime where he was willing to investigate the spy where he suspected Boro, Delta and everyone else pretty quickly so that he could report it to him. The Kara organization seems quite unfriendly, where none of them have a special bond with each other to garner this response. It's already been established that their hierarchical structure was mostly based on power. That's why they wanted to dispose of these robots. Heck, even Kashin Koji killed Victor with no remorse. The last chapter 56 depicted Code's ruthlessness to the outer Kara members pretty decently, but this excuse of his seemed quite jarring of how the story is trying to portray his new villainy. I feel like if you worship someone like a god, just as Code does, even if it was just based on a rumor, you would still report it for safety measures, right? Even Bug couldn't really believe Code's response, noting that he bet Code wouldn't even blink. So what was the real reason Code did not inform Jigen? Is there even a reason? Understandably, it feels as though Kishimoto was trying to brush aside this point just so we can get the introduction of Eida, but that's just our opinion. We know that's a freaking criminal offense on the internet these days to have one, you know what I'm saying?
富岡さんのこれは
Anyways, Bug begins to warn Code of Eida's abilities, explaining that he cannot make her obey him with using brute force, especially more than the rest, as she is an entirely different league from the others. Remember that Amado explained in the previous chapters that all these cyborgs he created are stronger than Naruto and Sasuke combined. Code doesn't seem to understand or care as his hand transforms, and he slashes her containment cell to ribbons. He decides he'd rather ask her directly about her abilities, and that if she defies him, he'll just kill her. Whilst this is happening, Naruto and Shikamaru are holding a Gokage meeting on a Zoom call and discuss the details regarding Code and what he plans to do. It appears as though the Leaf had launched several special op missions to invade the Kara base, but they all had failed because, you know, Kara's actual base is located in a different dimension. It also seems Code had deactivated all of the transfer portals Amado had scattered around, predicting that they would attempt to use them after receiving this intel. Shikamaru explains that Code has two main goals at the moment, one of which being the murder of the Hokage and several other shinobi responsible for the death of Isshiki Otsutsuki, and the second goal being the cultivation of a divine tree from the 10 tails they're harboring in the other dimension. The Hokage proceed to have Vietnam flashbacks as soon as the 10 tails was mentioned, like, oh my god, oh, do we have to live through that shit again?
never again.
And then Darui asks if Amado is really trustworthy, whilst pointing out the possibility that he could be using them for his own personal purposes. Naruto says he doesn't trust him, bitch, but he can't overlook the fact that he was instrumental in saving the village and that the proof is in the results. Gaara switches the subject to Boruto and asks if he's doing okay, because you know, he has the karma seal and all, and he's changing into an Itsuki. Naruto says that his son is fine for the moment, but they had no luck in finding any solution to his problem. Gaara explains that if Momoshiki or Boruto himself become an Isshiki level threat to the world, Naruto must be ready to kill his own child, which Naruto indirectly confirms he is willing to do since he is Hokage. But by the way, I do want to mention, I don't want to say this, I like Gaara's cut, G! Shout out to all the Middle Eastern and Indian viewers. I appreciate your support and spreading our videos within that demographic, but come on fam, you have to all agree with me that at one point our lives, we all rock this cut. Man's wearing a Shimaka Mies on top of that, fam. Gaara is looking mighty fine. This is Gaara, guys. By the way guys, don't forget to also smash the like button of this video and hit the notification bell for the channel, because the anime is getting good with Kawaki's introduction and we plan on covering it for you. Also, thank you for those that bought our clothing. Remember we released Sasuke Journey merch. A lot of you said it looks, let me say it, fire! So if you want to buy it, the link will be in the description. You can get a shout out just like everyone else by letting us know that you bought it on social media. In the next scene, we see Naruto and Amado. They are discussing Boruto's transformation into Momoshiki. Amado tells Naruto that Sasuke said he was willing to kill Boruto if it's necessary, based on what he had told him. Sasuke declares this in chapter 49, where he claimed Naruto wouldn't be able to kill his own son, whilst he, as Boruto's sensei, would. Naruto looks bewildered and phased, stating that he has had a hard time believing that his own son will become an entirely different being, and an Otsutsuki at that, something that is evil. He says that even if it is the reality of things, he rather not believe it until the very moment it happens, because that's how he will keep moving forward. Amado opens up and says that he can relate to how Naruto feels, as he once had a daughter, but she died 12 years ago. Now this surprisingly confirms many of the community's theory that Amado had a daughter who died. The theory then goes on how Delta was the attempt to replicate his dead daughter, right? However, we can assume that the new cyborg Eida is indeed his daughter. Stick around till the end of the video for you to understand this concept. Amado then switches to the topic at hand and pulls out a bottle of strange looking pills. He goes on to correct Naruto on his statement a moment ago, saying that it's not that he doesn't want to believe, but rather that he doesn't want to give up, and that's why he's come to him for help. Amado explains that the pills are a type of drug he had created in an attempt to weaken the Byakugan's power. This was just one byproduct of his many attempts to take down Isshiki Otsutsuki, and tells Naruto to not ask for any of the details. This is most likely because Amado must have killed or experimented on Hyuga clan members to research the dojutsu in the first place to make the pills. Otherwise, how do we logically deduce how Amado gained the knowledge to produce this drug, right? Naruto is already against Amado's ideology when it comes to Kashin Koji. Remember, Amado used Kashin Koji as a tool against Isshiki, and he didn't really care if he was going to die. Whilst Naruto doesn't believe ninjas are tools like Amado. He believes they are humans and should be valued accordingly. Naruto felt a connection to Kashin Koji as he is Jiraiya's clone, and the effects of Ninshu bonding with them. I see a lot of foreshadowing of how Amado will eventually destroy his relationship with Naruto because of his secrets and his own intentions, as the bumps are already showing in their relationship. I think that's why our whole community doesn't trust Amado yet. He then goes on to say that the origin of the Byakugan lies within the Otsutsuki, so weakening it might have an effect and put the Otsutsufication process on hold temporarily. For those of you that are confused, the Byakugan along with the Sharingan had originated from the Otsutsuki, with the Byakugan being the primary base dojutsu for all the derivatives of all other dojutsu that we see in the franchise. After many years, this Byakugan dojutsu was passed down to their descendants amongst the humans on Earth, forming the Hyuga clan. Within the essence of this dojutsu lies the makeup of what makes an Otsutsuki, as the Byakugan is from their DNA. Essentially, Amado singled this out and created a poison which attacks and weakens this genetic structure. Boruto, if he takes this pill, will be targeting the Otsutsuki DNA within himself, similar to how chemotherapy works against cancer cells. But instead of destroying these cells, these pills just weaken, possibly stopping them from multiplying, right? Hence, Amado explained this wouldn't stop the Otsutsufication process, but slow it down or put it on hold. Essentially, parts of our theory is coming true regarding the dampening of resonance, as this is essentially dampening the data transfer being released by the karma. Amado warns Naruto that he wouldn't normally recommend this, as there is no way of telling what the side effects might be. Decreased vision wouldn't really be a good thing for Boruto, but the worst case scenario would be death of his son. This makes me believe that the pure eye is being teased once again. The pure eye would supersede the side effect of blurred vision, of course, so yeah, the writers are just teasing us at this point. Show us the pure eye in the manga, bruh!
You naughty, you teasing me, you naughty.
Amado then explains that the best they can expect is a curtailment, meaning that they might be able to halt the progression of Boruto's transformation for a while, but it wouldn't be a permanent fix, and consistent doses would probably end up being required to maintain its potency. Amado encourages Naruto to think about it very carefully before making the decision, and also warns him not to let his wife Hinata or daughter Himawari to have any of this drug or anything close to this shit, because if you think about it, bruh, this pill is the literally poison to his whole family because they have Byakugan and a Hyuga. Amado became a drug dealer. However. Meanwhile, back where Code is, walking out the chamber, we finally get to see Eida fully awake. Now, you can already see the boy Code, he's whipped. Man went straight into simp mode. Man starts saying, Ohio, sorry for waking you up like that. But Eida just airs the lad and walks straight past him without even batting an eye. Just as she walks past Code, a blade claw pops out of his band across her chest. It was of course Code's thumb, which he sent through his band to literally hold at knife point, telling her to stop, and asks why she couldn't even say hi back. The only reason he went to Boruto's hideout was to meet and speak to her after all, and he then warns her if she doesn't respond back, he will eliminate her. Eida simply looks at him and scoffs, telling him to go ahead and try to kill her, to which Code responds and attempts to strike her, but nothing happens. He kept trying to move his thumb, but it couldn't move, or rather, it wouldn't. Code realizes this must be one of Eida's abilities. Eida apologizes to Code, stating that she wasn't ignoring, but after being in a sleeping state for such a long time, she was afraid she had bad morning breath. She then tells Bug to take Code to the bar while she goes freshen up and get ready for the man on their date. So at the bar, Code starts to have a crisis, thinking, damn, oh my god, what was I thinking? Talking to her like that. It was so classless of me. Pepe hands. If only I could get her OnlyFans and subscribe for $1,000 a month being a premium Snapchat user, bruh.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
But seriously, at first this side of Code might seem very weird, but thinking back how classy his master Isshiki was, it only makes sense that Code is inspired to be like him, right? Bug then reveals that this is all part of her ability to steal people's heart, which is why he wasn't able to attack her. So not only does she have clairvoyance powers, but is also able to make guys simp for her, instantly falling in love. At that moment, Eida entered the bar and chimes in that the abilities weren't all that great, comparing the ability to have access to security cameras all across the world at any time. Code then asks if she could watch all day if she wanted to which she responds yes for the most part, but it's super boring according to her. But occasionally she watches some interesting stuff. She explains that her consciousness jumps to whatever event she decides. Eida immediately says no, it's not future telling or precognition, but rather she can see current events in real time or can pick scenes from the past to watch, just like we do on Netflix, for example. well. Code responds in awe as she affirms the validity of Eida's clairvoyance abilities. Eida explains that she can see the present and the past with one limitation. She can't look back further than the day she was born. However, she can't see the future either. Eida jumps straight to the point of what Code wants to know: how to release the limiters in his body. There are two biometric authentications needed to lift the limiters. One using the iris, basically Amado's eyes, and the voice imprint using a keyword, meaning Amado has a voice code to unlock Code's powers. Whatever this code is, for some reason, Eida does not know it, which just goes to show how many steps ahead Amado really is. The reason you can't just use shadow clones or transformation jutsu is because Amado had altered his eyes using scientific ninja tools, meaning a jutsu can't recreate complex compositions, which in turn makes it so that it is truly only Amado that can lift Code's limiters, which might explain why he goes around with glasses when he can recreate body parts. So Code needs Amado to cooperate with him or take out his eyes if he wants his full powers back. This is exactly why he chose to settle down in Konoha, but Eida declares that she'll kill Amado regardless. Both of them want the same thing: revenge. But Code raises the question of why Eida hates Amado. He guesses that it's because he remodeled her body, and she claims Code is half right. This leads her to asking Code whether or not he likes her, which he admits to being the case, but he's unsure of these feelings being real. Eida continues to explain that everyone becomes captivated by her, woman or man, it does not matter, and she finds that boring since she'll never know if anyone truly likes her. Amado has robbed Eida of normal love, which is why she hates him. Code discovers that Bug is also in love with Eida, but because he has been affected for so long, his behavior seems quite normal, and Eida says he's only a shy pussy. Edit that out, edit that out. I don't know why that came out of my mouth. But basically, Eida says no, he is an incel. He's shy, that's why he doesn't speak to me. So this makes Code wonder why Jigen wasn't affected by Eida, since he had ordered the disposal of her. And she says she couldn't claim his heart. She continues to explain her ability to captivate people holds exceptions. She can't captivate blood relatives and Otsutsuki. She asks Code if Kawaki is an Otsutsuki, and Code claims he is, although an incomplete one. She explains how seeing Kawaki trick Isshiki and kill him made her heart flutter. She's not felt that way for a while. Code finally starts to understand the picture here. Her ability may not work on Kawaki, which means she'd be able to have a normal romance with him. Eida thinks Boruto is cute and looks good too. She doesn't mind having him, but what about Code's objective, since he needs at least one of them to feed to the divine tree? Code asks if Eida is sure of him taking one of her precious prints, and she responds that she's happy with just having one. So now you have to think about this. Boruto got 3 galleys, 3 girls after his thing, Sarada, Sumire, and now Eida has entered the picture. Sarada x Kawaki shippers, they're out here. They also have competition now. Think about it, because I don't want to steal your man. So I've clocked it, guys. I've figured it out. This is how Sarada Uchiha will unlock her Momoshiki Sharingan. I was joking, by the way. Obviously that's not how she's gonna unlock it, you know. Anyways, with her abilities, the Kage and Konoha can never catch Code, so then they salute to the alliance by having a drink together. With that, let's come back to the point we mentioned earlier regarding Amado's daughter. If it wasn't obvious what we are going to suggest, Eida might be Amado's dead daughter who was resurrected with this technology. The reason being, Eida made it clear that her ability does not work on Otsutsuki and blood relatives. Now this explains why Eida does not know the code that needs to be explained. What is the key word to unlock Code's limiters? Right, that's why she doesn't know, because she can't find out the previous events of seeing the flashbacks of what did Amado make it, right? Now Otsutsuki are aliens, so that would make sense, but Kishimoto made sure to add other category of blood relative. Now unless this is like redundant information, and if Kishimoto follows basic writing principles like Chekhov's gun, then this information is relevant, and I think this theory is true. Knowing that Eida hates Amado for robbing her from the experience of genuine love, why didn't she use the ability against him and even kill him when he created Eida. The only explanation would be that she is related to him. Now with that, we also know Eida's interest in Kawaki after their eventual encounter. It's possible that she might simp for him, similar to how Karin was for Sasuke. This chapter gives us another possibility of how Boruto will survive through Momoshiki's takeover over Amado's pills, and this method seems like a nerf for our boy, affecting his overall health and strength. However, let's not forget Kawaki's plan for Boruto to take over Code using a karma of his own. If Boruto does take these pills and damages his body in the process, it wouldn't matter if he transitions into a new body. Anyway guys, that's everything we wanted to say for this month. Join us next time and I'll see you. Bye bye.